Hey, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to my broadcast. Hope you guys are all doing amazing and having a wonderful day so far. Let me close some of these tabs. Hi, Cass. How are you, my dear? So I'm live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube all at the same damn time. And today's conversation is going to be super exciting for me because I'm going to share some things that I did personally to transition from being a one-man show, a one-man band in my business to being a CEO. Okay. And this, I'm really, kind of focusing on creative industries. So if you are a web designer, a social media manager, graphic designer, event planner, you do something else in the creative industry, maybe you're a photographer, videographer, something along those lines, and you're trying to figure out, how can I go from being the person who has to do everything to being able to have people that work for me, being able to charge more for the things that I offer, and having the freedom and flexibility to operate in my business the way that I really, really want to. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I do have some notes, so if you keep seeing me look down, that's what I'm looking down at, my notes. If you're watching this on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube, wherever you're tuned in, and you know somebody who needs this information, do me a favor and please share this with them. So that they can get this information as well. It's so super important that we share valuable resources in our community with other people. Yes, I'm super excited to share this. So let me just do a quick background for those of you who may have never met me before. You're not sure who I am or what I do, or like why am I qualified to talk about this. My name is Kiara Solomon. I own a digital marketing agency called the Right Click Agency. And if you're interested in finding out more about us, you can go to rightclickagency.com. Oh, definitely, Cass. We do. I got to call you because I do want to still do my event in Atlanta. And there's a couple other things that I want to collaborate with you on. I just been so busy. Life has just been taking me all over the place. But so I own my own digital marketing agency, the right click agency, excuse me, and we specialize in helping our clients to amplify their online messages and to reach an international marketplace. I really am passionate about helping Black and brown business owners who have products and services that can go to a international audience. I'm really passionate about helping them to be able to tap in and learn how to do that. Okay. And I've been owning my own digital marketing agency for about 5.5 years now, but I've been in digital marketing and business development for over 13 years. My oldest son is about to be 15, or he's about to be 16, excuse me. So I've been doing this for over 13 years now, and I'm just very, very much so in a place where I feel that it's necessary for me to share my expertise and knowledge as it relates to helping other people to grow their businesses. Digital marketing is fun. Digital marketing is my passion. I love creating really great strategies to help people amplify their messages, like I said. But one of the things that is super important to me is that I don't just help one person or a few people at a time, but that I really have a huge impact and I help a lot of people to be able to do this. So I like I said, I left my business, or left my day job, excuse me, about 5.5 years ago to full-time pursue my own digital marketing agency, the Right Click Agency, and I've been doing it ever since. And currently I have a team of about 5 people that work for me daily. And then I have a few contractors, 2 to 3 contractors that we bring in for particular projects, depending on what we have going on. I also at times outsource certain things to other companies, and my company also operates as a subcontractor for larger marketing agencies who may not be able to handle the project, or they just don't want to do it, whatever the situation is. Okay. Hold on one second, you guys. So that's what I do. So I want to talk to you guys about some of the internal changes that I had to make, as well as the external changes that I had to make to be able to be a successful CEO, because there is a huge difference. Hey Lervelle, good morning. There is a huge difference in, like, you're doing everything, so the only person who needs to know anything is you. All of the processes, thoughts, strategy, all of that stuff can live inside of your head. And you have a team of people who you have to convey your vision to, who they have to accept and adopt your vision, and then they have to execute your vision every single day. Okay. And I wish that I would have known a lot of the stuff that I'm going to tell you guys today, but hopefully this will help you if you have been feeling like you want to step out into that next level and go and pursue a really build a business, right? And this is what is important to me, you guys. A lot of entrepreneurs that I meet on the internet, a lot of the entrepreneurs that I talk to online, you guys are solopreneurs, right? You are doing everything by yourself, especially you creators, right? So you're the person who's responsible for, let's say you're the web designer, you're the person who's responsible for going to find the client, building the website, managing it, doing all of these things by yourself. And it can not only be overwhelming and burn you out, but it limits your ability to serve more people, right? It limits your ability to make more money. It limits your ability to go out and enjoy life with your friends and family, because you are responsible for everything in your business. And when I was living like that, when I first quit my day job and it was just me, and I was like, I remember having a conversation with somebody, you guys, and I'm going to get to this point in just a second. But I remember having a conversation with somebody when I first started doing this full time, and they were like, you have to, create systems and hire other people. And I was like, no way. People hire me to do it because they want me. They want to work with me, right? Just insane. Okay. So I was very much married to the idea that when people were purchasing something from me, when they were purchasing a website from me, purchasing an ad campaign from me, purchasing anything from me, that they were saying that they wanted me to do it. And the reality is that's just not true. That people want a solution, they want their problem solved, they want the thing done. So the first thing that I did, the very first thing that I did to make the transition from being a one-man show to being a CEO, when I decided that I was ready to hire a team, and I like moved into my office and started actively, even before I moved into my office, I had already had people working for me. So this probably started a little bit earlier, actually. But the thing that I did was I worked on becoming a better leader. Okay. And this is important, you guys, because there's a saying that, like, it starts with the head, right? People say that a lot of times in church. It starts with the head. And whether you see success or failure in a business, what is typically going on, what is typically happening is stemming from the person who is at the top. And so I knew that if I wanted to have a big team, even a small team, to be honest, but when I listen to people who are like, I have 50 employees, I'm always like, how? Because my 4 or 5 is stressing me out. Okay. But but I worked on becoming a better leader, right? I worked on really understanding what it takes to be a good leader. And the ways that I did this was, number one, I've read a lot of books on leadership. One book that I will recommend to you guys is called The 1 Minute Manager. That is like a cult classic, and it really, really helped me. Another book that I loved so much that I read, like go back and reread often, is the 21 Laws of Leadership, if I'm not mistaken. That's what it's called, by John C. Maxwell, the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership or something like that. And so but the point that I'm making is that I read books, and I listened to audio, and even today I still do these things to become a better leader for my team, because I recognize that my team can only go as far as I lead them. They can only do as much as I empower them to do. They can only be who I allow them to be for me in the business. Okay. So that was the most important thing. And you guys have had like terrible bosses before, right? Just comment in the chat if you've ever had a terrible boss, right? Somebody who, like, you're like, how did they get this job? Who in the world will put this person in charge of right? And that typically happens when people are not taught, or they do not seek out knowledge and information on leadership. And so what happens a lot of time is that transfers to the morale of the team, right? So like disgruntled employees who hate their job. I have a group of friends who all work for the same company, and let me tell you, the one thing that they all do is complain about the management, right? They say that the management doesn't take feedback from the people who are doing the job. They say that the management doesn't really like advocate for them with upper leadership, and so they just really don't enjoy it. Is always a terrible manager in charge in the corporate world, right? And a lot of times that happens because people get into leadership roles, and I want to caution you guys as entrepreneurs, right? Because as you're transitioning from being a solopreneur or a one-man show to being the person who's responsible for everything, one of the things that can happen is that you let that title go to your head. For me, I walked into the role, and I do take the role of leader very seriously, because I understand that it means that I'm responsible for the people on my team, right? And so when people are working for me, and sometimes my team taps into the live stream, so I don't know if like Hasif or Gabby or Kyra or somebody will be tuned into this, but they can tell you guys, they can comment in the chat if they are watching, is that it is I'm the person that eats last. Leaders eat last. That's the other thing you guys really need to know, right? Is that leaders are the people who eat last. And so it's not okay for me to like take a whole bunch of breaks, or never come to work on time, or always be doing my own thing, always be consumed with my own personal life, right? Never be concerned about my team, never be concerned about their needs, never be giving them the resources that they need to do a better job, all of these things, and then expect them to give me like A1 performance. So before you even start, I definitely recommend that you work on your leadership skills. If you feel like you're a good leader naturally, great. That's great. You still need to work on your leadership skills. Okay. If you feel like you always thrive in leadership roles and people always pick you to be the team captain, great. That's awesome. You still need to work on your leadership roles. This is something for me that's just like a non-negotiable, something that you absolutely must do if you're serious about making that transition from one man show to entrepreneur, because most of us do not have a lot of corporate experience. I know, I'm gonna be honest, I've been like doing this for the past 5 years. And like I said, I worked for other businesses before. I was in leadership roles in these other businesses before, sometimes in management roles, but they were small teams, right? So it might have been like 4 or 5 other people that worked in the office with me. I never worked in a big corporation. I never worked, like where it was like 20 people on my floor, mid-level management, a CEO, da 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 da. I might have worked for a company like inside of a company like that, but in terms of my day-to-day interactions, 97% of my jobs, except for when I worked at like fast food and retail, okay, 97% of my jobs were small teams, small groups, and I was not the person that was in charge. So for that reason, I knew that if I was gonna transition into being a manager, being a supervisor, being a CEO, that I had to develop those skills to be able to do that. So that's the first thing that I want to encourage you guys to do if you are thinking about making that transition from being a solopreneur, especially if you are creative. Because let me tell you something, and this is something that I had to learn about myself. As a creative person, I am quirky. Okay. I do weird shit. Okay. People don't always understand how I'm coming, you know? And so I had to learn how to, number one, accept that, but also how to navigate that inside of a team dynamic where I'm the person in charge and I set the vision for the day, I set the tone for the day, I set the environment for our workspace, and I determine what gets done. And that's a lot of responsibility. So, again, like I said, I just want to reiterate that definitely need to focus on becoming a better leader. Okay. Definitely need to focus on becoming a better leader first and foremost. The second thing that you need to do, oh, before I forget, you guys, I am hosting a Black Creators Summit next week, July 19th through the 21st. So if you're interested in learning about these strategies in depth, you really want to learn how to apply this to your business, you really want to connect with other creatives so that you can make that transition to running your business full time, to being, a full-time CEO, or even just becoming a CEO while you build your business so that you can eventually do this full time, go to rightclickagency.com so that you can register for this. It's 100% free. You can click the link in my bio if you're watching this on Instagram. I think it's in my bio on Facebook as well, but if not, just go to rightclickagency.com and click the tab that says Black Creator Summit. Okay. So the second thing that I want you guys to, or that I had to do, these are all recommendations. Y'all can do what y'all want to do. I don't know your life. I'm joking. But the second transition that I had to make was I had to build my standard operating procedures. Okay. Now, like I said at the beginning of this broadcast, I remember the very first time somebody said that to me, and I was like, I can't teach nobody how to do what I do. Are you kidding me? This is literally what I said to them. There is no system to what I do. I am a creator. Y'all just insane, okay? Just crazy. They were like, okay, Kiara. So I had to learn my operations. I had to really study what is my system, right? What is my creation process? And what part of this process can I give to somebody else to handle for me so that I am not the only person responsible for doing every single thing on a day-to-day basis, okay? And again, this is challenging, but if being a CEO was easy, everybody would do it. Okay. So I also want you guys, I didn't get to this point yet, but before we go there, I want to say, I don't want you to look at this process like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so simple. This is going to be so easy. No, it's going to require some effort. It's going to require some work. It's going to require you to step outside of your comfort zone and do things that you've never done before, right? Because if you already was doing it, you will already be there, right? So I don't want you guys to think about this as being easy at all. But I had to really study my systems, study my operations, study the things that I was doing again and again and again that were getting me the results, and document those things so that I could have a clear understanding to be able to train somebody else how to do it. A lot of times, the reason that people say that they don't have systems or they can't operate inside of systems is because they have not clearly grasp. They don't have a clear understanding of the process themselves. Does that make sense? Let me say it again because I was stumbling. So a lot of times when you are like adverse to systems, I can't build systems. I just need to do this. However, I'm a free spirit. Creative people love to say that. I'm a free spirit. I don't need any restrictions. I don't need anything holding me back, right? When you're telling yourself or other people that, a lot of times it's stemming from you not fully understanding, you not fully grasping the concept, number one, or number two, you not being confident in your own skills and abilities. Okay. The other day I did a broadcast on how to boost your confidence if you are how to boost your confidence, in your business so that you can increase your prices and attract more customers. And if this is something that you need help with, definitely go back and watch that video. But I know that a lot of times the reason that people do not create those systems is because they simply just don't feel confident in themselves. So you have to spend time really studying your operations, studying what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And then number two, the second thing that I would tell you to do as it relates to your operations is figuring out how you can improve them. What can I do to go faster? What can I do to be better? How can I not necessarily beat the competition, but that's really how you want to look at it. Like, how can I beat the competition? Okay. The third tip that I would give you guys who are making the transition from solopreneur or one man show to CEO is to evaluate your own performance. Okay. Now, this is a hard one because a lot of us do not like to admit when we are wrong, when we are doing things wrong, when we are not being our best selves. We're not showing up in our business as good as we should, right? Or as consistently as we should. And so one of the things that I strongly suggest that you do is evaluate your own performance. Are you giving your business the type of effort that you want to receive from your employees? Like, if you were an employee for your company, would you still be hired? Would you still have a job if you were the person who's in charge? And the reality is that a lot of times the answer is no, because you're not showing up every day. You're not giving your full commitment every day. You're not doing all of the things that you say that you're going to do. And like I said before, it starts with the head, right? So I set the tone. And this is one of the things that I really had to learn, you guys, that I set the tone for how things go in my business every single day. So if I'm slow to respond to emails, if I'm slow to complete tasks, if I'm slacking on the job, then I can only expect for my team to do the same thing, right? They're only going to give me what I am showing them, what I am modeling for them. Okay. So evaluate your own performance and be realistic with yourself. You don't have to share this with anybody if you don't feel comfortable. I do suggest that if you're not working with a business coach or somebody that help you to take your business to the next level, that you absolutely start working with somebody who can help you in that area. But I mean, listen, share your results with yourself. Be honest and transparent with yourself about what you are creating in your business and whether or not you are creating what you really want. And then once you determine that you're not, you need to adjust and figure out, how can you show up? How can you do better? How can you be a better employee so that you can transition to being a better CEO? Because people don't just get promoted to CEO for no reason. Okay. So, what are you bringing to the table that you should be CEO of this company? What skills are you developing? What talents are you working on? How are you improving as a person, as a leader, like I said in number one, so that you can be promoted to CEO of your company, so that you can become the CEO of your organization, right? And you really need to get into that mindset now. You really need to start to adopt that mindset today. Like, how can I show up in my business every single day like the CEO that I really see myself being in the future? Okay. So again, if you guys need help with this stuff, make sure that you go register for the Black Creative Summit. It's on July 19th through the 21st. You can go to rightclickagency.com or click the link in my bio if you're watching this on Facebook or Instagram. On YouTube, I'm going to come back and drop it back in the description box. But either way, go to rightclickagency.com. There is a tab on the page that says Black Creators Summit. So make sure you guys go register for that. It's going to be amazing event with some really dope speakers as well as some really great prizes. I'm so super excited. But more than that, it's going to start to show you guys what you need to do so that you can build companies that give you the creative freedom that you're really looking for, right? Because you want creative freedom, but not just to work on your clients' projects. You want creative freedom in your life. You want creative freedom in your finances. You want creative freedom in your family, right? You want to be able to do all of the things that you need to do. And, the biggest lesson, and this takes me to number 4, if I'm not mistaken, the biggest lesson that I learned in making the transition from being a solopreneur or a one-man show to being a CEO is that it is in like what I think the vision that I have for the business is what it will be. Okay. Your business cannot grow beyond the vision that you have for it. That was good. Can somebody just comment that in the chat? Your business cannot grow beyond the vision that you have for it, right? So that means that not only do you need to have a clear vision of where you want to go, but that vision needs to encompass all of the things that you truly desire to build inside of your business. Number 2, and number 3, you have to keep that vision front of mind literally every single day. Hey, Brittany, thanks for coming in. You have to keep that vision in the front of your mind every single day. Your business is not going to one day become greater than what you have imagined. Your business is not going to one day be this amazing corporation with dozens of employees where you're operating at this high level, making millions of dollars if you don't have a vision for that. Right? If you don't have a vision for where you really want to go. And so what I realized in my business, in my own business, was that I did not, and I talked about this a little bit a few weeks ago, few months ago on social media, is that when not until recently, like probably within like the last year, maybe 2, not until recently did I really think that I was going to be doing this for forever. Okay. Now, that is surprising. When I tell people that, they are like, what? But you've been doing this for so long. I know. But there was always this little thing deep down inside of me that you said it's frozen, Cass. Can you see me? Can you hear me? It was always this thing inside of me that was like, is this really gonna ever be a business? Am I really ever going to be successful? Will I be doing this for forever or will I have to get a day job? And what we don't often like to accept as people is that our thoughts create our reality, right? Thoughts become things. You've heard that said before, right? Your predominant thought is what you are manifesting, what you are experiencing in this 3D reality. Right. And so those fears, those doubts that I was holding on to were keeping my business for a very long time stagnant and small because even though I was like, writing out these big profit plans and coming up with all of these huge goals for myself, coming up with all of these big things that I thought I wanted to accomplish, the fears and the doubts that I was holding on to, those things were limiting my ability to grow. And I never really, I'm telling y'all, up until probably about 2 years ago, I never really accepted that this was what I was supposed to be doing, that this was where I was gonna be, like, this is my career, right? And accepting that, right? And y'all judge if y'all want to. I don't care. I'm telling you this because I want to be transparent with you. I want you to really understand the space that I was operating in. And it's amazing because a lot of times we can experience success on a certain level, but not really tap into the fullness of what God has for us because we are holding ourselves back, like I said, with fear, doubt, and insecurities. Okay. And so I know that this is for somebody because I know it's somebody that's watching me right now that's kind of been going through a similar thing. And people who might say, hey, ST, thanks for coming in. People who claim to know it all, to have it all figured out, right? Those are the people who are oftentimes hiding behind a mask of what's really going on. And so I had to really accept, you guys, that I was afraid, number one, because entrepreneurship is scary. It's a lot of responsibility. I'm not just responsible for my family, I'm responsible for my team's family. Like, if I don't, this is the daily reality, you guys. I need y'all to get this. If I don't go get the chicken, we don't eat. I gotta go find the chicken, kill the chicken, pluck, feather the chicken, cut the head off the chicken, clean the chicken. I had to do all of it, right? And so that understanding that weight of what I really think I'm called to be, because I don't think that I know now that the vision for, the vision that God has for my business is much bigger, much greater than I could have ever imagined. And that responsibility, even as I'm saying it to y'all right now, is heavy, right? And so that can scare you. And this is the reason why you have to keep your vision front of mind all the time. It's also the reason why you have to constantly be working on becoming confident, constantly be working on improving your self-esteem, improving your skill set, whatever industry you're in, so that you can always feel capable of what it is that you have been called to do. This is the reason why a lot of people struggle with imposter syndrome, because God called you to something. He gave you a vision for something, that you're going to build for the next 5 years, 10 years, and you think that you're supposed to step into it today, not knowing that you're supposed to constantly be developing, constantly be innovating, constantly be becoming better until you reach that pinnacle of the vision of what it was ultimately. And if you lose sight of what you are working towards, it is so easy to fall into this imposter syndrome. It is so easy to fall into fear. It is so easy to let somebody else come in and change course direction for you or for your business. So I really want you guys to understand how important it is to have a clear vision for your business and to stay committed to that clear vision. If you have not already wrote out where you imagine your business to be in 5 years, where you imagine your business to be in 10 years, I encourage you to do so now. If you need help designing the vision for your creative agency, whether that's web design or graphic design, like I said, you're a social media manager or you do something else creative, you definitely need to join us for the Black Creative Summit, because this is one of the things that I'm going to be talking about heavily. Because listen, you guys, as a creator, you are not only gifted with the ability to create for others, right? This is something that it took me a long time to learn. I always thought that my gifts of creation, of seeing somebody's vision and bringing it to life, right, was for my clients. It was how I was going to make money. But now more than ever, I realized that my abilities, my gifts to be a creator, to be a creative person, also are for myself, and that I can create the life, the business, everything that I dream of having. Okay, the Black Creative Summit is July 19th through the 21st. It is a free summit. I wanted to make this accessible for you guys. This is really about getting the information to you guys, but I also want you guys to make sure you show up. So it's July 19th through the 21st. You can go to rightclickagency.com and click on the tab that says Black Creators Summit, or you can just click the link in my bio if you're watching this on Instagram. Okay. So you have to keep the vision for your business front of mind. If you don't already have a vision, you need help with this, you can do a couple of things. You can schedule a call with me. There on our website, there is a link to schedule a call. If you click that link in my bio, there's also a link to schedule a call with me. But you have to get a vision for your future, because so many of you guys that I talk to are operating without a clear vision. Sometimes I get on the phone with business owners and they're like, I'm like, what are your goals for the next 6 months? I don't really know. I'm like, what? How much money do you want to make in the next 6 months? Just hopefully I'll be able to make like 500 a month. So that's like I said before, you are not gonna magically one day wake up and have the business that you desire. It's not gonna happen by, some snap of the fingers. The thing that is gonna determine whether or not you get what you really desire is if you keep that vision in the front of your mind and you are committed to working towards it every single day. Okay. And then my last tip, I think I'm on number 5. And make sure you guys go sign up for this summit, because it really is going to be so amazing, so powerful, and so just impactful. But the last thing that I want to tell you guys, and this was one of the hardest things for me to learn, is that when you are creative, when you are using your creative gifts and talents as your occupation, okay? And that's a very vulnerable place to live, because oftentimes you are putting out into the world those things which are most intimate to you. And a lot of people don't understand that if you're not creative, people have a hard time wrapping their head around that. But the key to your success and building a business that is profitable and building a team that can generate income for you is not in your ability to execute. Okay. Your manual labor, your toil is actually the least valuable thing that you bring to the table. The most valuable thing, the most amazing thing that you have to offer is your mind. And people will pay you for your ideas. And when you understand that, when you step into that reality, when you accept that as being true, it makes all of the other things that you have going on so much easier, because you do not have to live in this space where you are trading dollars for hours, hours for dollars, however you want to look at it. So I want you guys to understand that, like I said, you are creative, your gifts and your talents that God has given them to you, not just for you to be able to create for others, but for you to create and design your own life. And that doesn't matter what type. One of the things that I know about creative people is that they often have overlapping creativity, right? My son likes to paint, he likes to do photography, he's a dancer, he likes to perform, right? You have these overlapping talents. And so there are probably a lot of ways that you are creative. And today I just encourage you to sit in that for a few minutes and to ask yourself, what out of these things can you do right now to start to take the next step on your journey to transitioning from being a one-man show to being a full-time CEO? Because if you have that desire in your heart, it was given to you for a reason. It was given to you because God desires for you to be a full-time CEO, because God desires for you to touch people, to impact people, to make a difference. And that's really what I had to learn, right? Like I said at the beginning, with owning my own digital marketing agency, I can help a couple dozen businesses a year. right? And that's really my capacity to be able to assist, maybe 25, 50 businesses a year, but in teaching other people how to build their own creative industries. If I teach 50 people how to build their own creative agencies, right? And they can each help 50 people. What's 50 times 50? Somebody tell me, y'all know I'm not good with math. 2,500. So now we're helping 2,500 businesses a year. What if I can help a hundred businesses help 50 people a year? Now we're helping 5,000 people a year, right? And so what I know about my life is that I'm supposed to have an impact that is much greater than my own individual life, my own individual community. And I strongly believe that entrepreneurship is about us making an economic impact in our communities. Yes. St. Everson said, I'm booking a call. Please do. um but real entrepreneurship, we oftentimes we use people like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk as examples of great entrepreneurs, Steve Jobs as great examples of entrepreneurs, and they are great examples. But the one thing that I take away from each of those men, Oprah, any successful person that you want to look to, is that their entrepreneurship did not just impact their family. It didn't just change their life. It wasn't just about being on social media and being in a yacht. It wasn't just about posting cute pictures online. It was about making an economic impact. It was about changing communities and hiring people. And I was just at the Black Enterprise Award ceremony back in May, and they gave this guy, oh, now I can't remember his name. He owns a cheesesteak spot in Atlanta. And so they gave him a award, and he's from Philly. And one of the things that he said was that he has over 20 employees right now. And so he has impacted all of their lives, all of their families. One of my clients that I just signed, he just signed with us a couple days ago, Delivered Delicious. I'm so inspired by him because he said he's changing the way that salaries are paid. Like, that's one of the things that's important to him. He wants people to be paid not necessarily on an hourly basis, but like on what they bring to the table, their ability to get stuff done. And you don't necessarily have to take 8 hours a day to get something done, right? But these are his full-time employees. So I said that to say, you guys, that your gifts and talents were given to you for a reason. You are supposed to be impactful. You are supposed to make a difference. And if you have that desire in your heart to transition from being a solopreneur to being an entrepreneur, a chief executive officer, and having impact in your community that reaches far beyond you and your individual household, then I not only encourage you to apply this stuff, but I strongly encourage you to join us for the Black Creative Summit next week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope that this was helpful to you. I love you guys so, so much. I'm so inspired by you guys each and every day. And if you need anything from me, just click the link in my bio. You can send me a DM on Facebook or on Instagram, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay. I love you guys. Have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.